So we're ready to go ahead and write our first test in Rest Assured now. Now what we're going to do is we're simply going to call one of the endpoints on the video game database. So if you don't have this running, you just need to open up your command prompts again and type Gradle wboot run just to make sure that that's running. So what we're going to do is we're just going to call this endpoint here, video games video game ID. We're just going to call it for video game ID 1. And then we're going to see if we can get a successful result. So this is the endpoint, the exact address that we're going to call. So let's write a Rest Assured test to call this endpoint. So if I go over to a code, so we're just going to make a new Java class in here. Call it my first test. Okay. So the first thing that we should probably do is just add in the import for Rest Assured so that we don't have to keep dynamically typing it. So we'll just put import static io.restassured.star. Okay, so that should be everything that we need initially. Now we're just going to write a very simple JUnit test. So we do the @test annotation, and we'll call the test public void my first test. So the way the Rest Assured DSL works is that it uses traditional BDD in that you write given some input, when you call some endpoint, then you get a result. So traditionally Rest Assured tests are written in given, when, then. Now you don't strictly have to adhere to that. You can adhere to it or not. It's optional. I'll adhere to it at first initially just so that we can get the hang of it. So normally you would write given first, and then you could put in some extra parameters here, like some headers maybe, or some body message if you were doing a post. We're just going to leave it blank for now. We're just going to go straight to the when. So we'll just leave the given. We'll go to the next line, and we'll put when. So we've just done the given's blank, and we're just going straight to when. I'll just tidy up this formatting here. So now for the when, we're going to call our actual endpoint, which is the endpoint that we identified through Swagger. So our endpoint is here, this one. So we'll just copy in this endpoint to our test. And then finally, we'll add a then. So we're going to, so the len is the last part, and that's where the actual assertion would come in. So we'll add a then here. Again, I'll tidy this up here, and we're just going to check very simply that the status code that we're getting back is a 200 successful response, and that's all that we need. So this is very simply just going to call this endpoint and check that the response code is 200. Let's go ahead and run that. So JUnit will quickly run that test for us and perform our assertion, and we can see that our test passed. So this is a very basic test, calls this endpoint, and it checks that we got a 200 response. Great. So that's all. That was our first Rest Assured test. Congratulations. I'll see you in the next lecture.